Former Clinton special counsel Lanny Davis with us right now. Lanny, this issue I think drags on.
First of all, it's going to drag on. Speaker Pelosi is pointing out a possible ethical issue and possible legal issues, depending on whether fraud was committed and other possible issues. I hope Representative Weiner is represented by good counsel. I feel very sorry for him. Every human being has weaknesses, and in public display, this is a painful thing to watch. The basic rules of crisis management were violated. How many times are we going to see people in public life who delay owning up to a personal weakness, and through that delay...
Your boss rings a bell.
Well, one thing that Bill Clinton did do much earlier than everybody recognizes is blame himself and take responsibility, and painfully so, early on. He didn't fully tell the truth until the grand jury testimony, but he at least took responsibility.
No, I don't mean to be disrespectful, Lanny. I'm not trying to liken it. He only got more willing to talk about this when there was evidence to prove a relationship. I suspect that in Congressman Weiner's case, he only got forthcoming when there was evidence and pictures to suggest it was undeniable.
You know, I understand that that happens, especially on issues relating to private behavior, sexual indiscretions. Everybody should hesitate before they morally judge somebody else and feel empathy, first of all. And as a professional who advises companies and individuals who face crisis, not necessarily personal scandal, but corporate crisis.
Well, what would you tell them crisis-wise? I would think that the appearance alone, you know, I'm going to resign. I know this is going to be a cloud over everyone. It's going to drag on and on and on. For the better part of my district, for my fans, I'm leaving.
You know, I feel so badly for this man.
Well, how would you advise him?
I would advise him, first of all, not one scintilla of fact that he is withheld should be withheld. And when he started doing all those television appearances and was doing partial and dribbles of information,
right.
You just knew what was inevitable here was a big...
So last week or week before, you would have said, stop that.
Right from the start, I was privately hoping to speak to him, to remind him of an idol that he would say is his, as well as many people in New York. And Dick Grasso, who's a truly great man, was talking about her, may her soul rest in peace. We call it a noun, doing a Geraldine Ferrara. When she was faced with the scandal involving her husband's activities.
Yeah, nothing to do with her.
She went into a room in the middle of a presidential campaign, and you may recall, she invited reporters.
They could question her forever?
I'm not leaving until
exactly.
I answer every one of your questions. Hillary Clinton did the same thing on Whitewater. It's the only way, and it took...
So he didn't do that. Is it too late? And the reason why I ask is that as a crisis manager, you're very good at this. Is it already too late? If you argue, you got to tell the truth. And he was telling us the opposite last week and looking very convincing to a lot of people. He just can't be trusted.
Well, I actually don't think he was ever convincing, because you knew he wasn't telling all the truth. And calling reporters names rather than answering a question is a great tell, as they say in poker. There's something else there. Can he be rehabilitated? Yes. I think the American people have an amazing well of forgiveness.
Well, particularly in New York they do.
And nationally. They forgave President Clinton, and he left office with a 65% approval rating, and is now one of the most popular people in the world.
But I mean that by saying Charlie Rangel still thrives in his seat. And I'm saying that this city, and it might be more protecting of it.
Forgiveness is very, very possible when somebody steps up to the line and takes personal responsibility.
If his wife were to leave him, Lanny, all bets off.
And I know his wife very well. She is a great person, and the pain that you feel for him, I feel even more so for her. And there, but for the grace, we're all weak. We all have our weaknesses. And I think Representative Weiner does have a hope for rehabilitation, but he's got to own up to everything at this point. There is nothing that he should leave unanswered, the way Geraldine Ferrara once did a long time.
It's a very good comparison in that regard. Lanny Davis, thank you very, very much.